Welcome back, listeners, to a special halftime edition of the New Standard with my partner in crime to my left, Neal Coolong. What's up, Neal, in this special halftime edition of the New Standard?
Special is a good word for it, Lance. It was special for about a quarter and a half, and it does appear that at least two of the wheels have fallen off now for the Steelers at this point. We were excited about doing this special show. We kind of thought this would be the outcome, but really leading into it, I thought we would have a little bit more enjoyable stuff to talk about. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case now as the Steelers kneel it out on the delay stream to end the half, 21-7 Kansas City. Obviously not great, but otherwise I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, this game could be called half a Cinderella because the clock struck at 6 and some change. And it just looks like, they played a solid first quarter, but when you look at the stats in this game, when you punt on 7 consecutive drives, there's no way that you can win the game. You're looking at some of the game stats I'm looking on, and you got Najee Harris 27 yards. They have maybe 24 yards rushing total. Ben Roethlisberger has 24 yards passing, and as good as they played, as good as they played in that first quarter, you just have to generate something on offense. You just can't win a game like this. I thought the plan was solid, but you just got to do something on offense. It's unfortunate that this offense looks this bad and this pedestrian, and which quite possibly be Ben Roethlisberger's last start as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
Let's get into that though. I have Deontay Johnson at 3 drop passes in the first half. That's a nightmare. That's really bad. He's misplayed 2 routes with the ball in the air on one of them. These things aren't going to help you out at all. And you need to be able to stand toe to toe and throw some haymakers with a team like Kansas City. You're going to have to be able to score. And they're obviously not doing that. They're averaging 1.6 yards a play right now, Lance. They're 1 for 8 on third down. They have 2 first downs in this game. Obviously, the 7 points they have is not on them. So, it's the crazy thing is, and we've talked about this all season long, we've never done a halftime show. But most of the games they've won, I'm willing to bet we would have talked like this at halftime. So they're comfortable like this. This is not an unfamiliar position for them. They've been down before. Their defense showed it's capable of playing and playing well. It stretches during this game. And Kansas City is a high-powered offensive team. They have great skill position players. They have a great protection scheme. They're going to score points. Now, they just gave Pittsburgh their best over the last about quarter of play. I think Pittsburgh is capable of putting something together that they can stop Kansas City for a drive or two, but they've got to figure their offensive plan out. And right now, I don't know if that's really going to be a thing for them.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly. And I think what they can now lean on, which is really the Steelers' defensive weakness of the year, is their inability to stop the run. So now I think, if Kansas City doesn't want to put the dagger into the Steelers in this first drive coming out at the end of the halftime, you can just take the air out of the ball, run the football, lean on the Steelers, play a little bit of time of possession, because any additional score probably ends the game. And most likely the game is probably over now. You have a quarterback with 24 yards passing at halftime. This just shows you what this team is. It's really bad defense. It's really bad offensively, solid defensively, and they just don't have an answer. And this is unfortunate because you've got a Hall of Fame player that's played his heart out for this team, and to go out like this, with 7 punts. How many games do you see 7 punts in a half? And how many games do you see 8 third down conversion attempts in a half? This is just bad football. It's just atrocious. And you kind of had the feeling of what it was going to look like. Some runs to Najee, run, try to get it in manageable, throw it for a first down. If not, even in third and manageables, you were going to see Ben Roethlisberger take a shot on the boundary on a deep throw to Claypool. So you get slants, you get runs in the A gap, and you get heaves to Claypool. So, it's pretty much what we've seen. And at this point in time, I think the Steelers just have to try to take the brakes up, put the brakes off, and just, hey man, you gotta just go. You gotta just try to win the game now. I mean, whatever you're saving, I mean, you better let it go. You better try to do it because right now, if Kansas City scores any points on this first drive, this game is probably over.
Yeah, I don't think that they have the ability. I mean, scoring 14 points is going to be a challenge for them. They're a field goal kicking team. They really can't get into a shootout with a team um, that has the offensive firepower that Kansas City does. So really what you're looking at is you're going to have to find ways to steal possessions. That's exactly how they got points. They got 2 takeaways in this game, and they're getting utterly destroyed at halftime. They have 45 yards of offense. They've given up 305, and I would guess that most of that is coming on the last 3 drives, and scoring drives that Kansas City has had. So they've done it, and they've not done it defensively, and they haven't done anything on offense. They're going to have to figure that out. Whoever's last game it is, whatever it is that's worth to anybody, if they have any chance of trying to pull something back within, at least one score, they're going to have to possess the ball. They're going to have to move the ball. They're going to have to score, and they're going to have to take the ball back. They're going to have to steal possessions. I mean, we're beyond the point now of worrying about this being a Bills Patriots type of game. If they want to be remotely competitive, they're going to have to go for it on fourth down. They're going to need to run the ball a lot better, and their primary receivers can have to catch it.
Let me give you the stats. First down, Steelers 2, Kansas City 16. Third down, Steelers 1 of 8, Kansas City 4 of 7. Total net yards, Steelers 44, Kansas City 302. Offensive play, Steelers 27, Kansas City 40. Average gain 1.6, Kansas City 7.6. Rushing net yards 31 to 71. Passing yards net 13 to 231. I mean, I've never seen a game that was this lopsided in my life. And it just goes to show you why this game, that the point spread was about 12 and a half. There's just a very different, these teams are just very different. Kansas City is just a much better team, and we're seeing it. But I think you're right. The Steelers are going to have to possess the ball, try to convert some third downs. But unfortunately, this offense is not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to try. I mean, this defense, this offense is
Well, they're
not
there.
explosive.
Not at
So,
all.
I
Not
mean,
even
when
a
you're
little bit.
averaging, like Steelers Wire said, when you're averaging 1.6 a play, it'll take you probably 150 plays to score 20 points. And you
Yeah,
just
and
don't have that time now.
Kansas City's knocking that out in a play, a drive. They're marching down the field right now, unchecked and unchallenged. I mean, it's you don't have the sustainability defensively to hang with a team like this if you're not able to move the ball that same way. This is why Kansas City is probably going to end up in the Super Bowl again. It's why they've been to 2 straight Super Bowls. They are a very hard offensive team to stop, and their defense will do enough when it has to. Unless you're Tampa Bay and you have 2 weeks to prepare. Steelers aren't Tampa Bay. So if they want any chance of this, they're going to have to keep that offense off the field. The only way to do that is possess the ball. And that's old school thinking. But I don't know. I don't know what other options that they would have.
Yeah, this first drive for Kansas City coming out at halftime is the drive of the year. They can't give up any points, and they have to score immediately. And I like the way you framed it. I think this is a game in which, I mean, you have to go for it on fourth down every drive now. I mean, you just have to maximize your number of plays, especially in a situation where you're getting 1.6 yards per play. You just don't have any other choice. And the thing about it is, we've often talked about it from the Steelers' perspective because the show's called The New Standard. But, Kansas City discovered some different wrinkles that they wanted to do to impact the Steelers' offense. You see them much more aggressive with their blitz packages and really trying to get at Ben Roethlisberger because they're not going to get hurt over top. So they're making it very difficult,
Yep.
particularly on third down plays, to really get anything going in the passing game. And Brother Jay asked the question, why are the Steelers so bad offensively? Is it offensive line play? It's everything. The quarterback's not good. The offensive line is not good. The wide receivers are solid. But speaking of the wide receivers, kudos to
I would
Juju Smith
challenge that
Schuster.
tonight.
But kudos to Juju Smith Schuster for making it back. I think that's a lot of football character that he showed to get back into this game and try to suit up, particularly for possibly Ben Roethlisberger's last game. What do you see the Steelers from an offensive perspective trying to get to? Is it just run it a little bit better? What are some of the runs that they can go to? Is there anything they can hang their hat on offensively in the second half of the football
I,
game?
I think the biggest problem, this was the same thing during Deontay Johnson's slump last season. He's getting open. He's dropping these balls when he's open. They're not challenged catches a lot of the time. He's just dropping it. And I'm not blaming everything on him, but those are drive extending plays. You've got to make those plays at some point. I mean, drop one of them, people drop balls here and there. I get it, but he's dropped way too many tonight to expect an offense to be able to just pick that up and move on. He's doing it on critical downs. He's doing it in critical situations, and he's doing it in the short part of the field. He should be able to catch these. He's had issues with this, and for whatever reason, he's just got the shanks today. I don't know, but that's killing him. They're not a good running football team. Najee Harris's numbers are attrition based, not skill based. They're giving it to him as often as they are, and sometimes he falls forward and picks up a couple yards. He has a good game or two here and there. He gets to where he is, but he's averaging 3.9 yards a carry. He's not an outstanding running back statistically, and their offense is not great at running the ball. What they need to do is make plays. I mean, I really can't put it any more simple than that. They don't make chunk plays in the passing game. They're not capable of doing that. I don't know. I would agree with you. I think it's great that Juju's out there, and hopefully giving his all for the team. Hopefully in that he makes a few more bucks in free agency. But if he's out there not making plays, he's like everybody else. It wouldn't have made a difference if
Yeah,
he was out
he's
there or
like
not.
us. He's like me
Yeah,
and you.
that's really what it is. Their receiving core, contrary to what many in the fan base say, is not nearly as good as they are made out to be. They are really not very good. Deontay is getting better. He's improving as a player. He's improving in his craft, and he's falling apart tonight in front of our eyes. Claypool may as well not be on the field. Do you have his numbers in front? Does he have a target? I don't even know if he does.
He's dropped. He's been targeted, of course, 1-on-1 to the
Right.
boundary, but I don't
Pat
think he
Freiermuth
has a
has 2
catch.
catches for 8 yards. Deontay is 2 for 9, and Juju's 1 for 7. That's their passing game right now.
Yeah, Claypool with 2
You can
targets, no
blame the
catches.
quarterback, sure. Go ahead and blame the quarterback. You're dropping a ton of passes. Deontay Johnson has 2 catches on 6 targets. They're not capable of running with a team that has a tight end averaging 31.3 yards a catch on 3 catches, a running back who has 58 yards on 5 catches, one receiver 3 for 47. That was Robinson. Hill 3 for 22, and Hill doesn't look like Hill. That Byron Pringle guy that tore the Steelers up the last time is still better than the rest of the Steelers at 2 catches for 17 yards. So you're looking at a team that is completely devoid of playmaking ability and playmakers. We haven't even gotten into the offensive line, but I'm saying the offensive line is not good. The problem for this team, by and large, this season is not just limited to the offensive line. The draft is not going to fix all of these things. They need dudes, and they don't have any dudes. They used to have dudes. They don't have dudes anymore. They're just not good enough.
And that's a great way to close this halftime edition of the New Standard. Thank you guys for hopping onto the program. Make sure you hop onto the show. We will be doing a post game to wrap this show up. Thank you for hopping on with us. Go Steelers. Maybe we'll see a turnaround. Go Steelers.